What up YouTube? Today I'm going to show you some of my tricks and tips for Ableton Live. We're going to be doing like an EDM style trap, dubstep sort of beat. Let's get started. I'm going to let you guys listen to the beat through once. Let's hear it. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'll go over is this chord progression. So this, I did this by just stacking chords in A minor. So I've got like this chord, and then I have this chord, and so like when you're making chord progressions, you want to focus on the first degree, like the third, the fifth, the seventh of the scale. So like A minor, you have like A, and then a lot of other keys in that chord will be like the first, the third, the fifth, the seventh, etc. I've got this, and then I've got this one. And then so for the sound design, I have massive X. So we've got some like modulation happening on your, let's see, I'm just gonna loop this. So I've got some modulation happening on the first oscillator, and then also this oscillator. If you want to like look at all this, you can, you know, try to copy it. So that's kind of the sound. And then on top of that, I have like this sample that is like horns. You can like check this out. And one thing you want to do is when you like are trying to find samples to go with your chord progressions and trying to get everything to sit well, you want it all to be in like the same key, and that can really help identify things that kind of sound good with each other. So like let's say you have some chord progression in F minor or A minor. If you look for samples that are in the same key signature, they'll usually sound pretty good together. Now you hear them together. The other part, I have some like I have some automation happening on oscillator B, and that kind of just gives it some movement and kind of keeps it progressing. And something important in music is you want it to sound like it's progressing. And so for the vocal chop, what I did is I took this sample from a Crane's sample pack, and then I converted it to MIDI, and then I just messed around with writing some like MIDI notes in. So I got this sort of cool sounding thing. And then I EQ'd all the low end out so it doesn't interfere with any bass or kick drum. and then I also put an auto pan, and I put it 83%. I used a compressor and I side chained it to the kick and the snare, a little bit of simple delay and some reverb, and you have, and then it sounds pretty good if I turn off the chords. And when I have like this build here, and this is just like, you know, a combination of like 8th, 16th, 32nd, 64th notes. Oh, and so for the bass sound, I have that in Serum, and then it's basically the same chords. I chop them up a little differently, but it's still A minor, and I use this preset, and I like messed with it a little bit. I changed like the rate around. I have the cutoff being modulated. I have a filter on. It's a sine wave in the sub, and then I automated some of it. The rate. And then for like the bass drum or the sub, I took a Cymatics F sub, but I used transpose to adjust the key signature, so A minor. And so what I did is I like this sample, but I didn't like the mid part of it, so I did a low pass at around 75 hertz. So, oops, there we go. So you get the sub of the sample, but then what I did is I took Serum, and then I took a EQ8, and I just had it so it was basically letting all of the frequencies from 80 hertz to 166 hertz through, and so that's like the upper end of the bass. So you get, when you combine them both, you get like this fat sub that like punches through. So like here, let's hear it together. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I hope everyone has a good day and stay safe out there. Peace.